Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, then smash this like button and smash the subscribe button because it will mean that I make more content like this. So today I actually wanted to talk just about reselling and Depop in particular because the last video you guys absolutely loved it and I thought let's make part two. So the first one, if you haven't seen it already, I will drop the thumbnail here in case you want to go and check that one out first before you watch this one. But yeah, I'm really excited to talk about this. It's something that I'm really passionate about and I just can't wait to get into it. So today I wanted to talk about this new setup here, the background and everything. It's taken me so long to actually find something that I really feel presently creative in, and having the space here to actually be in amongst all of the clothes, everything that's around me feels really exciting, and also it just feels much more cozier. So right now I'm sitting amongst all of the pieces that are actually live on my Depop and my Vinted, and there's just something about that makes me feel so creative. This is something I've also thought about as well, in terms of how the new setup works. This is all live and there's always new pieces coming in, so the backdrop might change, so it might not always look like this, but except it kind of will. There'll always be clothes behind me, but like I say, like there's new stuff coming in, new stuff going out all the time. So yeah, I just thought it was a really nice, cool little idea. Also, it's like the shop is kind of alive behind me, so if you do see anything you like you can buy it on my Depop. All this is live right now. It's a little bit of a plug, I'm not gonna lie. Also, on the flip side of things as well, a lot of my creative ideas genuinely come from sitting in this room, either organising the stock, sitting journaling in my room as well. They're where the best ideas come to me. But why not just sit in this room where all the ideas come to me and you can have all the knowledge that I've learned over the last 5 years. Okay, so now that's out the way, let's actually get into the tips and the reason why you clicked on this video in the first place. This video is primarily for Depop, so these might not work for other platforms, but this is something that I found useful dedicated to this platform. And what you can do if you are a beginner reseller or you are looking to get into reselling, watch this video first and then use these tips to implement those into your business, and hopefully you'll see a higher conversion rate, and yeah, you'll make more sales. Tip number one is to sell pieces that hold value. So there's no point selling fast fashion. I see a lot of people do it, and unless you are buying in dirt cheap and selling for bulk prices on Whatnot and platforms like that, I would just advise you not to do it, because that market is already oversaturated anyway. The thing that you need to realize is your customer is going to pay for a high value item and actually charge more for it if it holds quality. And quality is so much better than quantity when it comes to this. Yes, you could probably sell out loads and loads of pieces. However, if you have higher price points in your business, that essentially means that you can do less work. You know, if you are picking things like sportswear, Ralph Lauren, Carhartt, North Face, those brands are highly saturated and there's nothing wrong with selling them at all. Just think about, there will be duplicate versions of those pieces. So for example, if you have a black North Face puffer jacket and you own that and you're trying to sell it for £45 to £60, think about how many other puffer jackets are already in circulation where somebody could buy something similar or find your item that you've priced for £45 at £30. You get what I'm trying to say. When you find a low saturated niche, it's very hard to sort of find one of those. It takes a lot of practice. I would recommend that you don't just copy other people and you find what works for you in your niche. So for example, it could be gemstone jewelry. Try that. See if, that's not necessarily a high saturated niche, because you have to find the pieces. You could go into fairy core and curate your own curations based off that. That works. Boho themes as well, the Western industry. So for example, it's very, very big over in America, but in this country, in the UK, Western core is very, very low saturated. It's not a high saturated niche, in my opinion, from what I can see. So selling things like cowboy boots, waistcoats, denim, these products will actually sell faster because there's low competition, which means that it's a lower saturated niche. People are going to be more sought after them, especially if they can only buy them in America. If you can import them from America to here and then sell them in the UK, that's also a win-win because you've just expanded your customer branch as well. I'm also going to say this as well. This is really useful. When I first started out reselling, obviously you are just going to take pieces from your wardrobe and you're going to just sell them online because that's how every reseller starts. And I'd also recommend that you do that because that's how you build a cash flow and that's how you build profit to actually invest in stock if you are starting with zero. However, when it comes to actually selling your stuff, think about your personal style and think about, okay, so I have, let's say you do a wardrobe clear out and you have 30 items to list, okay? Now, 30 of those pieces, right, they're not all going to be top sellers. I will tell you that now. Unless they are and you have a beautiful designer wardrobe, then maybe they will. But let's think about it from my perspective and the things I was literally starting with. So, realistically, if you have a white t-shirt that's a brand like Sainsbury's to George, maybe just literally straight away donate those pieces unless they hold a very quirky or different sort of embellishment or embroidery on them. Have a sell, keep, and donate pile. This way, you can actually keep the pieces that you want to, sell the pieces of the higher value, so £20 plus per piece or £15 plus per piece. Don't worry about listing anything that's like a tenner or a fiver because I'm telling you now, it's not worth it, and you're probably better off just donating them. Otherwise, they're going to just sit on your page for ages. And then the higher price point stuff, sell it for that, put it in that bracket of that margin. It will sell faster. And what you also need to do as well is donate pieces. So donate the stuff to charity shops, to friends, to family members who you think, this isn't actually going to make me profit, or it could do, I'm not sure. But I would just recommend that you put that into donate and then focus on the higher quality pieces to list. And that also gives you this idea of curating vintage. When you start curating pieces, you are building an identity and you're building a brand. So when, for example, a customer will come to you or, somebody will find your shop, these people know exactly what you stock. They come to you for that reason. And it makes it much more clearer and it creates an identity, a visual identity that customers can buy into. That was a really, really long-winded explanation. I'm really sorry about that, but I just had to get that out there. And these things I actually did, and they're really, really useful because I used to list anything and everything. And I failed. I failed doing that. I wouldn't do it again. I am actually very, very cautious, mindful now with the pieces that I invest my money into. Because they're going to be a flip or they're going to be a flop. So you have to be so careful and determined with what you're buying, what you're curating, and what you're actually bringing to your shop's identity. I think those three things are so important in reselling. Once you can master them, you are onto something really, really big. Tip number 2 is your photos make or break you. Again, I've spoken about this in the other video, but this one I wanted to kind of dedicate this again because I can't express how important it is. When you are photographing your item, right, think about it like a YouTube video. Think about it like an Instagram reel or something, but mostly a YouTube video, okay? When you're scrolling on your feed and you obviously watch YouTube videos, you're watching mine right now. So something about my thumbnail made you click on it to watch it, didn't it? So with that said, think about how a customer is shopping on Depop. Now, your thumbnail has to pull the buyer in. It doesn't matter about all the other photos, as long as your cover photo is edited. I'm actually going to put in what I do. So here, I will edit the first picture of every single item I have. I edit the first picture because this is the picture that the customer is going to see first, and that is going to make or break clicking on the item, okay? So look at this photo. Yes, it's desirable, it looks expensive, it's very clean, it's very polished, and it works well because the lighting is clear and consistent on all the shots. Now, when they click on this picture, they will swipe, but the lighting will the lighting still looks good, but it's not as clear as the first picture. However, everything is clean, everything looks professional. I add all of the sizing from pit to pit measurements to the length measurements inside the garment. Sorry, I'm going to sit this side so you can actually see. And essentially, this is what's going to sell your item because it's the cover shot. Think about it like a thumbnail. Say this again because it's so important. When you're scrolling on an app, what makes you click on that video over all of the others? What makes you click on the product over all the others? So it's about building a thumbnail that allows people and attracts the right people to think, I need this, I want this. And that's as easy as that. So tip number 3 is don't be scared to try new categories. So what sells for you and what sells for me are two completely different things. That is something so important. I'm not saying that because I don't want you guys to go and buy a load of knitwear and that market will be oversaturated. Go and do it. Try it. It might work for you. It's going to be 2 people that are going to watch this video and they're going to test this. They're going to test this if they're not already. If you're already selling knitwear and it's working for you, then clearly you found your niche. Now, if you don't sell knitwear and you go and buy knitwear and you try to sell knitwear, that's like knitwear too many times that the word's gone weird now. But essentially, if you're trying to do that and it's not working for you, then that's not your niche. And you need to find something that works for you, something that you love to photograph, something that you love to describe, love to sell. And that can still make you that higher average sale price point, but finding something that works for you and you can sell really well. So I could sell waistcoats. I sell waistcoats all day long. I know how to price them. I know how to list them. I know how to describe them. Now, if you don't know how to do that, try something new first, because what works for you might just be a total flop for someone else. I think the other thing you have to realize is as well is when you are getting into this, it's going to take time. You're not just going to find your niche. It's taken me 5 years to find my niche, because I used to sell a lot of boho per una stuff to start with. That just doesn't work for me anymore. And that's something that I've learned. I've tested that. It used to sell so well for me and now it just flops. So I'm thinking, well, I don't really want to buy into this anymore because I'm not making the sales that I need to get the goals that I want to achieve in the month. So yeah, you could sell anything. If you're going into menswear, think about Carhartt, Dickies trousers. They are fast movers and people want them. A lot of people like these edgy streetwear pieces. So if you can buy in a load of those, that's a great start. Thinking about, going into winter time, for example, if you're like me and you like the one-off indie pieces, I don't actually stock any of these. I haven't even tested them, but this might work for you. And I've seen a lot of sellers that it works really well for is animal pattern fleeces. And I don't mean the sort of like tiger, leopard print ones. I mean actual fleeces that have dogs, puppies, wolves, those kind of things on them. They sell really well all throughout the winter, and you can also price them at £40 each. They're so rare, they're so unique. So if you can get hold of those and give those a shot, that would be a good tip, but I didn't tell you that. Anyway, moving on to tip number 4. Doing it your way is so important, and it's something that I genuinely will always aspire to do. Always be authentic to yourself. I've trialed and tested loads of different setups. I think I might have put a video on about this. When it comes to photography, I used to do mirror shots, I used to do flat lays, and now I've gone to flat lays again, but a completely different background because I used to photograph them on like a pink satin sheet. So and if you followed me for a long time, you'll know that I used to do modeling shots. I used to do like plain white background, plain blue background. So yeah, it's taken me ages to experiment and play with style. But once you can make something look expensive, I think this is the biggest thing, okay? And it's crazy, but I think once you can master what I'm about to tell you, this is where the shift changes, and this is where people buy into you and your product. So for example, you are selling vintage pieces, right? Okay, and you might have 50 of these beautiful garments now on a hanger or on the floor doing a flat lay. People can see what it is for what it is, and they're like, I might find something a little bit different from somewhere else. Okay. And that's what's stopping you converting that product, because it just is so average, it's so basic, and it's so boring, if I'm being honest. I still do it, but I think my waistcoats have a little bit of flair. But if you're selling, for example, vintage dresses, Laura Ashley pieces that hold value, right? What I would recommend you do is look in your room, look in a space where you think, okay, I have this beautiful mirror. I've got this mirror and it's so perfect. And if I set a light up behind it and I put this garment on and literally, if you just photograph yourself, you can cover your face with the phone and you photograph yourself like this wearing the garment. If you can do a full body length shot as well, that looks really cool. when you do that, and then you have something in the background, it could be like a plant, it could be like I used to have a satin sheet on the floor when I used to do this. This is how I started Retro Clothes Shop. I went from making no sales with the stuff just hanging on a wardrobe to making literally 5 sales a day. And this is what changed for me. It's the fact that when you start to wear, when you start to sort of like model the shots, even if you don't model them, and you have something that people can relate to you by, it's like, oh yeah, that's Retro Clo. I know who that is based off the photography. Okay. When you start to do that, people are like, I need this product because it looks amazing on her, or I need this because it's from Retro Clothes Shop, or I need this because look how it looks, right? When you can start to do that, they actually imagine themselves wearing it. How does it make you feel? It makes you feel good. It makes you feel confident. So portray that in your photos. Make yourself feel, give it a little bit of sass, give it a little bit of energy. Watch your sales fly in because people are buying into you and your product, not just the fact that it's a garment. That is gone. That strips away the minute you start to do that. Trust me. Again, you didn't hear that from me. I'm spilling the tea today. It's so bad. Tip number 5 is list often, but list smart. So this is the biggest thing that when it comes to Depop, the algorithm loves it when you actually list every day. Now, that's so difficult and it's so hard, I know. However, if you split aside, say for example, you work full time, 9 to 5, Monday to Friday, okay? Similar to what I was doing, I was literally at uni and I had a part-time job, so it's really difficult to like fit this in. I know, and I get it, and I've been there. So set aside 2 hours every Sunday to just start with, like 2 hours every Sunday, because Sunday is technically a day of rest, but it's also a day for side hustles, right? So this is what I did, and I'm going to tell you and I'm going to explain everything. So set aside Sunday. It doesn't have to be Sunday. It could literally just be one day of the week that works for you around your schedule. I'm saying Sunday because that was the day that worked for me, but obviously it might be different for you. Once you've got that time and you've scheduled in 2 hours a day for, your business, your side hustle, what you're going to do is take photographs of absolutely everything in that hour, right? In that hour, take photographs of absolutely everything. Then what you're going to do is actually write all of the descriptions and edit all the photos and put them into Depop, but you're not going to post them. What you're going to do is save these as drafts. If you save them as drafts, you might have 30 items that are drafts right now, or 50 items, or however many you've got. They're your drafts, okay? Save them to draft. You'll have a draft bank, and this is so important, okay? Set your draft bank up so that 5 items go live every single day. So for example, if you have 35 items, list 5 on a Monday evening, but you've already done them on the Sunday. So it's literally just pressing list, right? It's so easy. 5 items a day. That's it. 5 items a day for 7 days. That's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 items in a week, let's say. Or if you have 20 items, do 2 a day, 3 a day, however it works for you, split it across days, okay? Once you do that, trust me, the algorithm will love you back and you'll make more sales, because if you upload 35 items at once, okay, that's it, you're done. If you upload 5 items, your listing is going to be pushed up again so more people can see who you are and what you're doing. And that way then, you're always going to be at the top of the search. And that's how it works. So I would say that's literally it. They're the top tips if you want to succeed in this. Once you've got your supplier, because I will tell you now as well, if you're doing this full time, you cannot rely on charity shops and car beat sales unless you want to get up at 5 o'clock every morning, literally snatching it out of people's hands like Black Friday sales to try and get the good stuff. It's really difficult because I've tried it. I have tried to find, the right suppliers, but I would definitely recommend using vintage wholesale. I would also stay away from representative bundles if you're first starting out, because you will be really disappointed, trust me. When you order loads of stuff and it looks amazing in the thumbnail and it looks amazing in the photo on these websites, don't expect that, because you have to understand that they're going to sell you good pieces, but they're also going to put a load of stuff in that you can't sell, and it will just be actually classed as rags, okay? Because I ordered a representative bundle once of hoodies, and I'm not joking, there were probably 5 out of 25 that I could actually sell. The rest of them I had to clean, steam, iron, fix, sew. One of the jumpers actually had the arm was missing. Yeah, horror story. The time people look at resellers and go, wow, I can do this. It's so easy. I just go onto this website and I'll buy £300 worth of this and I'll sell it all. I'm telling you, and I'm telling you this from experience, it's very difficult to do that. What you should be doing is networking, speaking with your supplier before you buy and asking them, what can I get for my money? Have you got any discounts? This is my first order. Essentially, what you should be doing is asking them, why should I buy into you? Give me some incentive to buy into you. Give me some extra discounts because it works. And it's all about, this is something that my dad said, the worst thing that they can say is no. So why not give it a go? And obviously, if the worst thing that they can say is no, it's like it's kind of like rejection therapy in itself when you start to do this, because you could go through your entire life and think, okay, I'm not going to ask about that. I'm just going to buy it. Okay, but what happens if you did ask about it? What deals could you get? They could actually, if they know what you wanted because you're the customer and you're the business owner, if the supplier knows what you want every single time, they're going to give you gold every single time, because they're not going to throw in stuff that you can't sell when they're going to be, potentially your future supplier. Yeah, they're going to actually give you gold every single time because you could potentially be a repeat customer for them. They need that more than you need them. Trust me. So I would definitely recommend writing emails, picking up the phone and calling suppliers and saying, look, I'm interested in this. What does it include? How many pieces do I get? Is it grade A, B, C? What's all this? Because what they have on their website sometimes isn't what they've got in their warehouse, because they have that much inventory. It's so it takes a lot of time to process everything, essentially. So, what you could do is say, look, I'd like to come to your warehouse and handpick. Some places do that. Or I'd like to video call you and handpick. Some places do that. Now, once you can start to do that, you can say yes, no to all the pieces. That's amazing, because you're building and you're curating garments that you love every single time. But I will say, as always, this video is not sponsored by Fleek, but I'm going to drop them here. I'm going to put them in the description box as well below with all the codes that you can use. Like I say, it's not sponsored by them. I just want to give you a discount if you're looking to kickstart a Depop reselling business. I would recommend the great thing about Fleek is that you can actually search through the exact bundle filter, which then allows you to actually buy the pieces for what they are. You can see them all, zoom in, zoom out, look at them and think, is this what I want? Again, you can do video handpicks on there. That's really useful. And all you have to do is write in exactly what you're looking for, send over a mood board, and then pretty much you're in. Schedule a time with them, and it makes it so much easier. You can literally sit on your laptop, video call them, say yes, no, build your bundle, get it shipped to your door, start listing the pieces. If you are a beginner, you can actually get some money off your first purchase. If you spend, if you spend £100 or £115, I think it's £115. I will link it below, but you'll get £26 off your first order. And that's a brilliant investment. If you're just starting out, £100 investment. If you can do that after you've made the money selling your own clothes, why not give it a go and see if it actually works for you? But yeah, I really hope that you love this video, and please comment, what tip did you find useful? If not all of them, if that helps you. And yeah, I also wanted to say in this video as well, obviously if you've stayed till the end of this video, that's amazing, so thank you so much. I wanted to do two things. So the first one is I'm going to make a Q&A video into the new year, so I'm just kind of like going to say this in every video I next make, but please write down, ask me questions in the comment section. Ask me as many questions as you want and I will answer them all in the new year. So I want to make a video where it's X amount of questions from my followers, so please drop your questions down at the bottom if you actually are interested and you want to know. Yeah, ask me anything about reselling and I will answer it. The other thing that I wanted to add as well is, what do you guys want to see next? So what would be really helpful for you in terms of what videos I make? I have the ideas in my head all the time of what to make content on, but I think it would just be really nice if you guys had an input, because this channel is for you guys at the end of the day as well, as much as it is for me, because it's like a documentary process and watching myself grow. This channel is also for you as well, and I think that's the most important thing. We're sharing this journey. It's just me and you sat here talking right now. And there's something really nice about that. It's cozy and intimate. So, if there is something that you want me to make a video on next, then please drop it below, because it always inspires me if I can think about something that you guys want to see, and something that's going to help you as well. That would be amazing. So, thank you ever so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.